success doesn't stall businesses. Comfort does.
It's hard to win. It's harder to win again.
What do we need a consultant for? Everything's fine.
Right.
Yeah, now your building's a CVS.
In all the things that I do this like and learn. What did I like about it and what I learned? And sometimes what I liked is that I did it, and sometimes what I learned is I don't ever want to do it again.
Right. The reality of it is that momentum dies.
Yes.
When fear gets promoted to leadership.
Correct. 100%.
You know, but for most people, it's not that way. They don't have a blind belief system like I do that everything will work out, even when it's clearly not working out. Right? It's still the blind belief of that. Okay. Again.
But that's how I learned to.
Yeah. So I mean, I think, that's good for you. It's a learning moment. I feel like I just delivered perfecly, so I don't need to go back and.
Well, you've got all that.
Got it done.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
Yeah,
you're evolving.
Call you Mr. TV.
Listen.
You're like Pitbull's Mr. Worldwide. You're Mr.
Along.
TV.
You never know. Listen, you never know. I mean, we're international. We're big in Angola. We're big. Right. We're big all over now.
That's exactly right.
I gotta look at the latest Spotify to see where we. Listen, we could get off a plane somewhere and they'd be shouting.
Right.
Voice of reason. Voice of reason. Voice of reason. Like
that's what Willie H looks like.
I want to orchestrate that. I want to see if I can get how people do those flash mobs and they flash mobs. Yeah. I want to see if I can. Maybe I know what I'm going to do. We're going to go somewhere. You and I are going to go somewhere, and I'm going to plant some people there.
Plant some seeds, all right.
And I'm going to have. See, now that I'm telling you, it's kind of. But I want people. Excuse me. Are you the voice of reason? And watch you be like, oh, you made it.
That's amazing.
You made it.
Well, I told you my friend, the comedian, who I do some stuff with over at the Funny Bone.
Yeah.
And he goes, come on, Lon, you're the voice of reason,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. Yes. Right. I love it. I love when it sticks. I really want somebody to come run up. I mean, Willie H is not on camera, but so they don't necessarily know. But I really want somebody just to come up to him and say, hit the buttons. That would make me so happy. Hey, folks, you are at the right place. Exactly don't change that dial. Don't skip that video. No. You are at the right place. This is the Grow Business Podcast. I'm announcing a promotion today.
Okay.
So, like on Saturday Night Live, they have the, regular cast.
Right.
And then they have like the secondary people, the up and coming people they put on there. And then the goal, for many when they're on Saturday Night Live is to go from the repertory players or whatever they call them to the main cast.
Okay.
So I'm announcing.
Okay.
For those of you on YouTube and Spotify, they already know this now. I'm announcing that this is the Grow Business Podcast with Cory Mosley and Lon Graham. Willie H. Willie H, one more time. I'm Cory Mosley. Holy is it something in the water today?
I don't know.
And I'm joined by co-host. I mean, he's already put this on his LinkedIn, by the way, even though he's promoted himself a long time ago. Co-host LG007, Voice of Reason. Lon Graham is here.
Voice of Reason.
He's official. You're official on the TV now.
Thank you. I spoke it into existence.
Yeah, you did. Were you?
Well, I put it on LinkedIn.
Well, you leave it every week like, when the hell am I going to... The show started in 90 episodes ago with two people. You had to be punished,
okay?
Right? Because I wasn't making that mistake again. I wasn't putting two people's name on this deal, and they couldn't make it.
Right.
So I had to make sure. Yeah, I just make sure you were committed and could hack it. So
all right. So 80 episodes later.
Yes. And we'll see how the rest of this goes. But Willie H is here.
Hit the buttons, William.
I hate to follow a promotion with a demotion.
a promotion with a pip.
Yeah, a promotion with a pip. I mean, I've had to do pips. Now it's more aggressive. I don't know. He's just missing the marks and stuff. I don't know. He's going to put it in later, though.
Okay.
Yeah, and think I'm not going to tell the folks. I want original on here. He's had his breakfast. He's got his bag of oats over there, whatever he's got over there. So he's had his breakfast. There should be no excuses for this. Okay. Oh, he's got his granola. Yeah. with the white guy with the beard on it. What is it? The Red Mill? What is the guy's? Yeah, Red Mill granola. Yeah, he's got it there. Hey, folks, you're in the right destination. Don't mind our foolishness here. We are here to talk about business.
Yes.
We're here to talk about growing your business. That's why we put it in the name. We do that based on our 5 pillars of business growth. Co-hosts, why don't you share those 5 pillars?
Well, I'm happy to do that,
Cory. In the order that they belong in.
In the right order,
yes.
Absolutely. Those 5 pillars are mindset, sales, marketing, operations, and people.
I will ignore the glance down as if you still don't know. Have you not read my book, Position for Growth?
Oh, I've read the autographed copy.
Okay, excellent. There you go.
Yes.
Position for Growth, we encourage you to get that if you want to go into more detail of the things that we're talking about. But that's the goal here. We're not here to be your gurus. We're here to share some information that we believe will impact your business, and we're thankful to have you here for another episode. Yeah. I'm super excited about today's show. Not just I was thrilled. There should have been more fanfare here, but I was thrilled to surprise you with that because you didn't know that was going to happen. Now you are a social media hawk, so you see the things that are going on. So you know that there's been some changes in the ecosystem. So you did see your name showing up.
Yes.
But you didn't know you were going to make it to the big screen TV yet.
Correct.
Yeah,
I've been tagged in some things, and so and thank you.
Were you surprised when did you go on and you were like, oh,
check that out.
This is nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So thank you.
We're going to have that mug everywhere.
Absolutely.
All right. So today I wanted to do something. I wanted to approach this a little differently.
Okay.
Because I don't want people to simply be dependent on our show and what we do for like survival stuff, right? Okay. We want people to thrive.
Right.
And what I realized as I was thinking about this week's show is there's a lot of people out there that had great years. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that have a lot of good things going right. I mean, there's a lot of good things going right in our businesses and things we're doing, things that you're doing. So I think, it shouldn't always be like, how to turn this around or how to do this. So this week, I want to talk about how to keep a positive mindset and maintain momentum when things are going great.
Oh, I love it.
Right. So don't just seek information, right? I mean, you've got the 2 schools of thought.
Right.
I spent a lot of time in the auto industry and, back in 08, 09, when we had the crisis, we had the automotive crisis and all these different things.
Right.
People talked to me years later and said, man, how was business back then? I'm like, business was great.
Yeah.
And I said, really? Because the auto industry was doing bad. I said, well, here's what you understand. You have 2 sides of the street at all times.
Correct.
You have businesses down and people want to invest in getting back to where they were.
Right.
And then you have people who are doing well and want to put their foot on the gas.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's what we want to talk about because at the end of the day, success doesn't stall businesses. Mm-mm. Comfort does.
Well, and I've adapted this saying, it's hard to win. Mm-hmm. It's harder to win again.
Yeah.
Meaning that,
some football teams found that out this year.
Right. That's exactly right. And it's, to your point, comfort is you've had success and the motivated are the next level of success. Yeah. And so this is, I love this idea. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to hit you with the 5 in today's show. We're going to hit you with the 5 and we're going to talk about that because I have watched, we call it phoning it in.
Right.
Complacency.
Sure.
Bill Gates had a saying amongst many, success is a menace. It convinces smart people that they can't lose.
Oh, yeah.
And I've seen that hubris on display in my 20 years in consulting.
Yeah.
Cory, what do we need a consultant for? Everything's fine.
Right.
Yeah, now your building's a CVS. And oh, by the way, you don't work for CVS.
Right, that's exactly right. And it's not your CVS.
Right, exactly. And, and it's interesting. If you ever travel back, I mean, I know you lived a lot of places as a military brat. What do they call it? Military brat? Mm-hmm. But if you ever go back, like I go back often to different places I've lived.
Sure.
Particularly like going back to New Jersey or even here, driving through neighborhoods, driving through areas and going, man, that used to be a insert the blank, and that used to be this, and what happened to that?
Yeah.
I was on a side of town recently, and I drove past. I don't know if you know this, fun fact. I own part of a laundromat.
We've talked about.
Yeah, have I? Yeah. So I've talked about the laundry basket.
But yeah.
No, I don't have it anymore. No. But I was in that part of town and drove by.
Okay.
And, the building's still there. It's called something else now, like Sudsy McSudsy or something.
Right.
But it was just interesting to look at the development around there and kind of how time, changes things. And then you ask yourself the question, what happened?
Right.
Did the people retire? Did someone else come in and buy something? What kind of happened in that process?
Right.
Was there a complacency moment? Where was there a moment when you thought no one could catch you? When you thought you were the prime game in town?
Right.
And I feel like you've had these conversations in your networking travels because that you love you some networking. Wow. So I feel like you've had that conversation, and over a period of time, certainly when we've been talking about introducing new things to the market, right?
Correct.
Like video content and like these different things.
Right.
Coming back from some of those conversations with the old dogs, right? And you don't have to be old to be an old dog, right? You can be an old thinker.
You can have an old mindset.
Yeah, you can have an old mindset. And just kind of shaking your head and be like, they just don't get it.
Right.
These things are not if.
Right.
They're wins.
Yeah.
Right? When something's going to happen.
Well, I had a conversation with a buddy of mine last night. We were talking about at dinner about this and about thought leadership and about the studio. And we've got a mutual friend all three of us are really good friends, and who's been telling him about what we're doing.
Yeah.
And he just hasn't had time to really dig into it. And so we're talking now about, let's look at how can you use this to promote yourself? How can you use this? And he's very successful.
Right.
He's not struggling, but he's got plans for growth.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I'm good here. I've got a team, and I want to build my business, and I'm expanding into new markets and new opportunities. And like we talk about, how do you take the next step? It's that once you've accomplished something, are you looking at the view, or are you looking at the next hill?
Right. Well, and what I love about this is you're leading right into number one. What you just said with your buddy, what you just said with your buddy is very poignant, because number one is don't confuse winning with finished.
Right.
Right. And that's the exact point there.
100%.
So when things are going well, founders sometimes, business owners sometimes unconsciously, will relax their standards.
Right.
They may stop measuring. They stop pushing. Also, they may stop challenging those assumptions because they take on the role of, I got it.
Right.
I got it dialed in. I got it on lock.
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Right. 100%. Yeah. And it becomes I call it a quicksand. It becomes, you're doing the same things and you're in the same place.
Right.
And because you are moving, you think you're going somewhere. You think you're doing some good things.
Yeah.
And if you're not challenging yourself to grow, or if you're not challenging some ideas of how do I approach this differently, doesn't mean you always have to do it.
Right.
I talk about like and learn, and every, in all the things that I do this like and learn. What did I like about it and what did I learn? And sometimes what I liked is that I did it, and sometimes what I learned is I don't ever want to do it again.
Right.
And that's
I like that. That's great.
And that's okay.
Right.
So you can, my point coming back to the quicksand moment is if you're doing the same thing, you're in the same spot, you may be moving, but you're not going anywhere.
Right.
And if you're not moving, you're sinking.
Give that man something, Willie H.
That can help me. Maybe this guy can help me.
maybe not. But it sounds like it. So if we think about this from a strategic standpoint, modern strategy, I want to encourage you to create a success checklist.
Yeah.
Right? So not a crisis plan. You need a crisis plan too, because things can go crazy in this viral world, right?
Correct.
But a modern success checklist, right? What standards cannot slip?
Right.
Even if revenue is strong. What metrics must be reviewed weekly, no matter how busy or comfortable you get?
Right.
What behaviors got you to where you are that you refuse to abandon?
So I really, really like that standards, Cory. And, there's standards and rules, right?
Yeah.
Rules are designed to protect you from things that people have done so that people can't do it again.
Right.
Standards are designed to elevate.
Yeah.
And so standard is a minimum level of acceptance or a minimum level of expectation. So the standards is so valuable. And you don't need 20 of them. You need 5 or 6 of them that this is how we do business.
Right.
And we're, regardless of how successful or how much we're successful or how much we're struggling, these don't change.
Right.
And so that's how you keep moving, and you avoid that quicksand moment.
Right. Success doesn't end the game.
Correct.
It just raises the level.
Yeah.
You know?
When the church say amen.
Yes, and they should. And they should.
It should.
Because, I think when I think about this, when we think about the idea of comfort, what's crazy is comfort sometimes is the most expensive cost in business, particularly when we're talking about growth.
Right.
Right?
Correct.
And listen, if there's a sector I'm competing in, I love someone that's phoning in it.
Right.
Right. That's perfect.
Correct.
Stay asleep, please.
Yes. Yeah. Don't pay attention.
Because that just creates opportunities for me. That creates opportunity for my clients. That creates opportunities. So to me, I think the moment you feel safe is the moment momentum starts leaking.
Yes.
And don't confuse a desire to move forward and stay aggressive, let's say,
right,
with exhaustion or a need to have anxiety or a need to take on this kind of, paranoia.
Right.
It's very important, right? Because that's a whole different psychosis that we're talking about.
Yeah, we're talking about building on success, not defending yourself.
Right. I've heard the term often, thankful, not satisfied.
Yeah.
So always be thankful for where you are. That doesn't mean, like when people say, oh, you have enough. Whose decision is that?
Right. Well, you think I have enough.
You know who has enough? Larry Ellison.
Maybe.
Right? He has enough. Bezos has enough.
Right.
We're not even, I'm not even in the hemisphere of enough, right?
Well, and here's the thing about, you said Bezos. So you may think Bezos has enough.
Right.
He doesn't, because he's building things to go find stuff in space.
Right.
Like he's building rockets.
Right. Sure. Right.
Because the Earth can't.
What do you do when you have unlimited resources?
Right. Earth can't hold him.
Right. You got to. That's right. That's right. That's right. It's Mars or bust.
Right. That's exactly right.
Right. We need a high-rise tower. Okay. The Nakamichi Tower needs to be moved to Mars. Right.
Oh my goodness. You went.
All right. Number two.
Good.
Good reference for my diehard fans.
Yeah.
All right. So number two, we want to shift from hustle energy to precision energy. Because here's the trap. Many times early success is fueled by urgency.
Right.
Sustained success requires clarity, requires systems and restraints.
Yes.
And many owners don't make that shift.
Something I've been working on personally for me and is alignment. And
I love that.
Align energy, it's in the first. So aligning energy, intent, and action, right? And aligning those things. And that's something that I'm working on, because there are things that I will do that are superfluous, that aren't necessary.
Right.
And, what it does is it's that opportunity cost, right? If I'm doing things that aren't in alignment, it's costing me the opportunity to do things to make the progress that I'm capable of making.
Right.
And so as the new year, I look at things in quarters, coming through from Q4 last year to Q1 of this year, looking at how can I get better? How can I be more effective? And what are some of the things that aren't in alignment?
Yeah.
And so I'm looking at that. So talking, and energy is a big piece, right? So you talk about going from urgency to important. And so, we talk about, you're dealing with fires. Well, when you're early on in your business, there's a whole lot of stuff going on.
Right.
That you got to deal with. Once you get past that and you start to have some success, how do you build on that with positive energy, focused on aligning yourself on important things?
Well, I love this because you are lining this right up. So let's talk about that from a strategic standpoint.
Right.
So number one, replace doing more with deciding better.
Correct.
Because that's an important connector there, right?
Right.
So ruthlessly eliminate low ROI activities.
Yeah.
Say no faster, even to good opportunities.
Right.
Right. I love greatest line someone ever gave me, rest in peace to dear Jim Ziegler, but beware of distractions disguised as opportunities.
Yeah.
Everything that comes across my desk, I always have to put through that filter.
Yeah.
Because particularly when you're of an entrepreneur's mindset, you see opportunity everywhere.
Right.
That just doesn't mean that, as Chris Rock says, you can drive a car with your feet. It doesn't mean you're supposed to do it.
Right.
So it becomes that, right? So say no faster.
Right.
Always focus on leverage, not effort.
Yeah. And the say no faster leads, it's what's your filter?
Yeah.
And so what allows you to say no faster is as you talk about decisions, what you decide that's important, what you decide, how do you do that? And so by having this filter of this is what we're trying to accomplish.
Right.
That's my filter. Does this help me get there? Does this help me get closer to it?
Yep.
Is there a benefit to it? If not, then I like a lot of people, but I don't necessarily need to be with them.
Right.
Because those people
Sure.
no longer help me get closer
Sure.
to what I'm trying to accomplish.
And well, that comes with, that includes friends and relationships too.
Correct. Yeah.
So momentum isn't built by doing more. Right. I think people believe that. I believe it's built by doing the right things longer.
Well, and doing more of the right things and doing them longer. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. So, think about, as we close in on 100 episodes, that's amazing to think about.
Right.
Because you're thinking about 100 episodes on a weekly basis. You're thinking about 100 weeks, not taking like breaks and things, breaks that we've taken and different things. But that's a pretty damn strong commitment.
Right. That's 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, when you know, a weekly podcast.
Yeah. But, and I think it gets better.
It does.
It gets better as we go. And then, because I'm expecting to become famous by 101.
Right.
Right. Fame is supposed to be after 100 is what they tell me.
That's what they say.
So I hope that's not right up there with 10,000 steps or 8 glasses of water. Right.
Right. Exactly.
So I'm fully expecting that. I want to bask.
It's a light switch, right?
I want to bask in the fullness of celebrity.
There you go. Absolutely.
Celebrity podcaster.
Indeed.
Okay.
Well,
we did get in the top 100.
We got in the top 100.
We got in the top 100.
And we're in a good
business.
We're in a good neighborhood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that neighborhood that.
We're coming.
We are.
That's
right.
Yeah.
Indeed.
All right.
Indeed.
All right. Number 3.
Okay.
Well, let me make another point.
Okay.
Because people talk about the hustle and the grind.
Right.
So no doubt, hustle builds revenue.
Mm-hmm.
Precision, though, builds scale, I think.
And you better believe it.
Yes. and precision goes back to the way to get better and to develop your precision, which is being precise, is to get rid of the things that get in that way.
Right. Don't let these yeses and don't let the excitement from success steal the focus from the future.
Correct. And precision becomes getting more. We've talked about being clear on so many different things, on your mission, on your ideal customer profile, on who you do business with, what you do and who you do it for.
Right.
And the clearer that you get on those things, which we've been talking about for a long time, the more precise you are and the faster you can go because you're going in one direction towards those things.
Right.
Voice of Greece.
There we go. We knew we were going to get one of those.
Earn it.
Yeah. You had to work for it, baby. All right. Number 3, guard your mindset from success-based anxiety.
Mm.
And I think as that rolled off my tongue, I think about things, when people talk about imposter syndrome and these different things.
Right.
And I was reading something interesting that Stephen Bartlett, the Diary of a CEO guy, does, where he was on the Dragon's Den, which is the UK version of Shark Tank.
Okay.
Actually, where it started, Shark Tank came from that.
From that, okay.
But he was talking about him being hit with imposter syndrome because the other players on the show or the other people on the show have much vastly wider portfolios, wider business experience, had been in that chair. Peter Jones, one of the longtime Dragons, been in like 19 years.
Okay.
19 seasons.
Okay.
So what I'm paraphrasing a little bit of the post that he was reading, but he was just making the point that don't confuse your inability to do something with the fact that you just hadn't done it yet.
Mm.
So he felt imposter syndrome for sitting in that chair. Not that he wasn't qualified, but he hadn't been a dragon before.
Right.
So it really wasn't so. And once they got going, and the first person came up, and the second person came up, and he started asking his questions, and they started feeding off each other. By the end of that, he now was a dragon and realized that it was never about his inability to do it. It's just that he hadn't done that before.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and sometimes it's walking into rooms that you haven't been in before and figuring out how to feel like
maybe I don't feel like I belong there, but
am I supposed to be here or in meetings and that's such a good way to say it is don't confuse that you haven't done it that you can't.
Correct. And because here's like the trap as part of number 3 is with this mindset and anxiety piece. When things go well, fear doesn't actually disappear; it mutates.
Right.
Right. So you're not. So what if this doesn't last? What if we can't repeat this? What if I mess this up?
Right.
Those kind of statements are the statements when we talk about creating a success-based anxiety.
Yeah, and I listened to we've talked about this before. I listened to a lot of Ed Milet, and Ed Milet talks about new levels, new devils.
Yes.
And so those are part of the new devils are the people that you're exposed to that are jealous.
Right.
Part of your new devils are what's going on in your mind.
Right.
The new thoughts, the new fears that mutate that you're talking about.
Right.
It's that concept as you continue to make progress, the mindset, your mind plays tricks on you just differently.
Well, and there are certain things, there's certain memories I will always have.
Right.
And one of those becomes, not going to college, but going into consulting. And I will never forget the day, my first corporate client, I was 28 years old. It was Volkswagen, it was a corporate client at 28. They didn't know I was 28.
Right.
Because I carry myself with such
gravitas.
Mature,
right, exactly.
Yes, I'm very mature. I was 28, and I remember going to my mailbox and getting my first check. And I remember looking at that check and thinking about the great irony that because I didn't go to college, I would never be able to work for a Volkswagen as an employee. Because at that time, I don't know if it's changed, but at that time, they required a college degree.
Right.
So I'd never be able to work for them as an employee.
Right.
But the check I was holding was the equivalent of somebody's yearly salary.
Right.
That they would work a year for.
Right.
And I thought, what great irony.
Yeah.
To that. And I also thought, how fascinating that this is possible.
Yeah.
And that was predicated on knowing information that they didn't know.
Correct.
And being a resource to solve that problem.
Right.
So when we talk about your ability to solve problems will drive your company's revenue and your organization and your growth.
Right.
That just became a crystal clear example.
Yeah.
And that's great for confidence, right? Because, I didn't, if you would have, now, I mean, I've always believed it would happen.
Right.
But for most people, it's not that way. They don't have a blind belief system like I do that everything will work out, even when it's clearly not working out. Right? It's still the blind belief of that. So, so to me, normalizing confidence, you can do that or should do that without bringing arrogance into to play. Right. And that ego that I'd be surprised if anybody was out there that ever referred to me as like an egomaniac. I mean, we've worked together for years. I don't think you've ever had a moment where like, this guy's just, regardless of my body of work, which is deep, and deserving of some arrogance. But I think you can normalize that without that, right?
Yeah.
Document your wins and decisions that worked for you. Review proof of your history. It's like who was it? I don't know. It was Black Panther or Lion King or one of those. Like, remember who you are.
Oh yeah,
I can't remember who it was. Remember who you are.
Yeah.
So your thoughts?
Yeah, that's so important. And what happens is having you can call it a brag list, you can call it a confidence report, you can call it whatever you want to call it. Sometimes when there's space between, keynotes or talks that I give, sometimes when there's a little bit of space, I'm like, well, what am I missing? What am I not doing?
Right.
Sometimes to reinforce the fact that I do a good job on stage is I have a folder on my computer of testimonials, and I'll go back and read those every once in a while to remind me to keep going.
That's great.
Right. Don't get stuck because it hasn't, because the next one hasn't arrived yet. Or, you know, so sometimes to have something that you can go back to, because it will get hard.
Right.
There will be hard times and you'll start to wonder, is this the end? Yeah. And remind yourself what you've been able to overcome already.
Yeah.
So have this brag list or confidence book or whatever you want to call it, but something you can go back to remind yourself of what you've already overcome and what you've accomplished.
No, I like that. Apparently Willie H doesn't.
Yeah, he's going to add it later.
Willie H, what's going on today, brother? Like you should be hitting it right now. Pick something, hit anything right now.
Bingo!
Yeah. Whew. It's like this Paula Abdul song. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Right?
Wow.
Like, what is happening? All right.
You were pulling some 80s and 90s
He was doing so
today.
well, though. He was doing so well. There you go. See? He thought he had it. He's like, I've been killing it these last few episodes. And then, boom, up in smoke.
Got comfortable, right?
Lord have mercy.
Yeah. Good point. Right. I got to browbeat the buttons out of him.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah. Because talking about the mental game, ultimately, you know, if you don't manage success mentally, it becomes pressure.
Yeah.
Instead of fuel.
Yeah.
And that is a whole different dynamic about how you wake up, how you show up, and how you go out and get things done, and also how you're perceived with your clients and customers.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I talk about mental nutrition, Cory.
Yeah, sure.
And, you know, the thing about physical nutrition is what you're putting in your mouth. You have to make a decision to put that in your mouth. So now you may be addicted to it or whatever, but you physically have to put food in your mouth or liquid or whatever you do.
Yeah.
The thing about mental nutrition is you have to choose to talk about what you're saying no to. You have to choose what you're not listening to.
Yeah, sure.
You have to choose what you're blocking out.
Right.
And so the mental thing, the reason it's so hard is because if you're not actively putting positive thoughts in your head, if you're not actively putting plans in your head, if you're not actively developing strategy, then the news and the noise start to attack you. And that's where you talk about, you know, the mutating the, you know, imposter syndrome or mutating the negative thoughts. Well, they continue to grow unless you fight them with positive nutrition. Like I said, the hard part of it is that stuff's always going on. Like you can choose not to put something in your mouth.
Right.
If you don't actively put positive things and good things in your head and strategy and you know, opportunities in your head and start reminding yourself why you got to where you are with good thoughts, that stuff's going to start to permeate, and it permeates and mutates, and it's bad.
Well, and if you take that back to fear, you know, the reality is that the reality of it is that momentum dies.
Yes.
When fear gets promoted to leadership.
Correct. 100%.
You know?
Let the church say amen.
Let them do it. Let them do it. Encourage them to do it.
That's right.
All right, number 4. Celebrate progress without slowing the machine.
Yes.
Here's the trap. Some leaders never celebrate, creating burnout.
Yes.
Others celebrate too long,
right,
which creates stagnation.
That is 100% correct.
So, you know, micro celebrations,
yes,
right? That have an immediate opportunity to refocus, because that works on the other side too. My buddy Walter Bond talks about a pity party.
Right. Yeah. I've heard him talk about that. Yeah.
It's okay. All right. Something didn't go your way. Something's bad. You can throw a pity party, but then it needs to be over.
Right.
Right. It's a pity party, not a pity long weekend.
Right.
Not a pity week. Not a pity month. Not a pity year.
Right.
So the opposite is on the other side, and I talk about this with a term in the book called CAPI.
Yes.
Celebrate, assess, plan, implement, right?
Correct.
So celebrate your win, capture the lesson, also set the next target quickly in that environment. You know, here's the rule. No victory parties without the next move also being part of it.
Correct. Right. Here's what we did. This is what we're celebrating. Here's the next target.
Celebrate the win.
Correct.
Then feed the machine.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Think about it. So we've got this beautiful, it's called this Capitol Trail that runs from Richmond all the way down to Williamsburg. Yep. And I think it's 50 miles. Well, I don't know what the actual number is, but it's 50 miles. And at every mile, they have a marker that designates the number. And so when I ride it on my bike, I go by a mile, like, okay, there's another, making more progress, one more mile.
Right, yeah.
That's what you're talking about, is recognizing that mile marker, knowing that there are more mile markers out there to attain.
Right.
Remember, though, you had to get to this mile marker before you can get to the next one, celebrate it, and then move on.
Right. You're pausing to appreciate,
100%.
Not to park.
Correct.
Right. You hit the mile marker, you're not stopping and turning around at that point.
Right, exactexacy.
Although after me,
depends on how far.
I've ridden several miles. It's overrated. Okay. Let me tell you that.
Right.
Upstate New York.
Oh, yeah.
I told my buddy, go get the car. I ain't going back. I'll be right here in this cafe having a cafe au lait today while you go get the car.
Either that or Uber XL.
Garçon, please. Refill.
That's right.
Refill, garçon.
Yeah, I need to stay warm. I get it. Yeah, it's so important.
And momentum, right? Momentum is thanking the past.
Correct.
While building the future.
Correct.
We want to do those things together.
They have to be, go back to that word aligned, right? They have to be aligned. You're recognizing the progress that you're making, and different celebrations for different levels, right? Yeah. But the reality of it is, and I say this standing firmly on the ground in front of a mirror. Early in my career, especially when I was in surgical sales and leading and reading, it was push, push, push.
Yeah.
And I had to learn, like, that's great. Next, I had to learn how to take a step, take a deep breath, go out and have a drink, celebrate, whatever, go out and, recognize people, because as the leader, I was driving and
stop by a ladies' night.
Exactly. But I didn't slow down enough to recognize the progress that we were making. And that's the burnout that you're talking about.
That's right.
So give yourself the opportunity to recognize progress, because that becomes like refuel.
Yeah, sure.
It's like when you stop at the gas station to put more gas in your car.
Yeah, I know. I love that. All right, let's do number 5.
Yep, let's do it.
Protect momentum by upgrading your inputs. So here's the trap, right? As business grows, leaders often stay in the same conversations. They stay in the same rooms.
Right.
They stay in the same routines.
Right.
While their company outgrows them.
And this might be a guy I want to work with.
What's interesting there is you're a routine guy.
Yeah.
Things you do, right? Now, would you say regiments are different than routines?
Yes.
Yeah.
Regiments, I think of regiments more as almost like rules, where routines are like standards.
Okay.
That's how I would think about it. Go talk about rules and standards before.
Right.
I think regiments are like, I have to do it this way.
Right.
And if I don't, I'm violating something. And there's a place for regiments, in the military. If you're fighting a war and you're training, the SEALs have regiments for a reason.
Sure.
The Navy SEALs do. But in business, if you think you have to do it that way, you are stifling your opportunity for success.
Right. No, that makes a lot of sense. So when you think about this strategically, we're using the word upgrade, right?
Yes.
So, upgrading what goes, this is kind of a mindset conversation, right? So upgrading what goes in your mind. Seek out higher level peers, not just cheerleaders.
Right.
Right. Advisors who challenge, not flatter, and content that sharpens your thinking, not just motivation. And I always correct people. Like, it'd be great. Oh, cool, we love, we're looking for a motivational speaker.
Right.
Okay. Well, first off, I'm not going to turn down the check.
That's right. But check there, okay, good.
I could crank it up with the best of them.
That's exactly
right. I'm going to turn down the check.
Right.
But first and foremost, motivating has to be a factor, not the factor.
Correct.
Right? So I will often talk in the concept, and we will use in our marketing, right? Education, motivation,
right,
activation.
Right.
It's a 3-step process, because they have a good rah-rah and leave people on a high, but they don't have any practical information or action items or things that they can do.
Right.
That ether, as we used to call in car business, that ether wears off sooner or later. And now you're left back where you were with no new skills, no new information. So thinking about sharpening the mind, not just being motivated, but being motivated with new information.
Correct. Well, the new information can become motivating in and of itself, because you're upgrading your mindset, you're upgrading the information that you have.
Yeah.
And, we talk about what rooms are you in. You talk about getting to know different people. Well, if you are in a room that no longer serves you, it means sometimes you got to go find a different room. Yeah. And that's what you're talking about, talking to people that are doing what you want to do, not what you're already doing.
Right. Your business won't outgrow your inputs.
Correct.
So you've got that responsibility. Right. And momentum ultimately can slow when leaders, this is your bread and butter audience here, when leaders stop upgrading themselves.
Right. Well, they can.
When they go into park mode, right?
Well, and you can only grow as big as your identity.
When the church say amen.
Which means how big can you imagine yourself, talk about belief, right?
Yep.
How big do you believe that you can get? And the beautiful thing about what we're talking about here is building on success is every step of success that you add to your business, it opens you up to new opportunities. Right. So if you stay parked, you go your car, and if you stay parked, you don't see anything different. But if you take the car out of park and you start driving down the road, the view changes. It exposes you to new things.
Right.
So that's part of the growth process is, what are you feeding your mind? Who are you connecting with? What are you seeing?
Listen to?
Who you listen to?
Who you listen to can determine how long winning goes on and lasts. Right?
Absolutely. And you want to listen to people that are also growing. So it's that's so important. Absolutely.
All right, folks. There it is.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is that, I think when you think about it, most businesses, don't fail during hard times like we think they do. I think a lot of them drift during good times.
Yeah.
And then a problem shows up. COVID in restaurants.
Yeah.
You didn't have online ordering, you were punished.
Correct.
Many went out of business.
Correct.
Because they just weren't prepared.
Right.
Because a restaurant in business for 40 years shouldn't collapse in a situation like that.
Right.
They only collapse because they went with how we've been doing it forever, worked, and you don't get around. You're not here for 40 years if you're doing something wrong. Right. And, we don't need to be electronic. We want to stay on paper. We don't need online ordering. Right. We still love the phones, or we don't even take online. We don't do to go here. Right. You want to enjoy our restaurant. We want you to come in and sit down like family. Like those things, that's what the collapse was. It wasn't, we got hit and everything just dried up. Every restaurant didn't close.
No.
Everybody didn't go out of business.
Right.
So it was, what were those unique things? If you were retail, you were overextended on inventory.
Right. Yeah.
And now you got hit because no one could come in your store.
Right.
Like, those to me are those things. And I think that's where that logic comes in. It's when things were good, what were you doing?
Right. The restaurant is such a great one because there are restaurant groups.
Yeah.
There's chains and then there's groups, right? And so some of these groups looked at COVID and said, okay, we're going to direct our resources into the brands, the restaurant brands that have the strongest potential to survive this. And we're going to relieve or cut a number of locations. We may not completely get rid of the brand, but we're going to cut locations because those don't have the potential to do what we're trying to accomplish. Right. So you don't have to get rid of everything. You don't have to lose everything, but you got to make some difficult decisions.
Right. And
like you're talking about, sometimes when you're successful, you drift and you carry things in that drift that weigh you down when it gets hard.
Yeah.
voice of reason.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And, when we talk about the different dynamics of leadership, sometimes that test isn't how you handle hard times.
Right.
Many times it's how do you behave when things are finally working? It's kind of like when they talk about hitting the lottery, right? And all that does is magnify. Right. If you were stingy without lottery money, you're going to be stingy with lottery money. Right. If you were giving, whatever your behavior, if you believed in excess at the level that you could do, now you got $100 million, your excess is just, everything's going to be gold.
Right.
Right. I need a gold toilet now.
Right.
Right. So it really becomes that kind of, it magnifies who you are, magnifies your behavior. So I think that is also a thing, just from an attitude standpoint. So
sure.
There it is, folks. We just laid it out for you, how to keep a positive mindset and maintain momentum when things are going great. Positivity is important. We want everybody growing and doing well, but there are certain things that you got to pay attention to, as well.
Yes.
Before we get out of here, obviously, we want to let's recognize our sponsor.
Yeah.
Today, Pecan Jack's Ice Cream and Candy Kitchen.
Yeah, Cory, appreciate that. Today's episode is sponsored by Pecan Jack's Ice Cream and Candy Kitchen franchise, where fun meets serious profit. With an average unit volume of $960,193.38, this is a franchise that proves you can build wealth doing something people love. Learn more at pecanjacksfranchise.com and see if there's a sweet spot open in your market.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for that. I mean, it's just a great brand. They celebrated a record 2025. So just a lot of exciting things going on there as one of the fastest emerging brands. So if you're listening to this and, obviously you're already in business, but you're looking for another business opportunity, or someone. Franchising has proved to be one of the most powerful tools I've seen in terms of successfully making the transition. Also from corporate world, from some other job. I've worked with a ton of business owners over 20 years, who many of which were just making their own way, and it's a great story to tell at the end if you win,
right?
But not so fun when you're going through it.
100%.
So really now being around franchising for 3 years, as I've have now with more intimate knowledge, it really is such I say overlooked, even though there's 4,000 franchises. It's still, I think, overlooked by a lot of people who psychologically feel like they need something that with their name on it, that they can decide everything. Right. But man. Your ability to accelerate inside proven systems and processes, and brand recognition is super huge. So we're super excited about the future there. PecanJacksFranchising.com for more information. Well, LG, you know the deal.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming back. And next time, bring a friend.
This has been another episode of the Grow Business Podcast with Cory Mosley and Lon Graham. On behalf of myself, LG007, and Willie H., we thank you, and we will see you next time.
Yeah, there's a graveyard full of businesses that didn't adapt.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's big and small.
Yeah, that's right. And not through the tragedy is that had the opportunity to do it.
Oh yeah, most of them.
We didn't know, we didn't see this coming, but somebody brought XYZ to us, and we didn't think we needed to do it at that time, or we figured we'd get to it, and that time never came.
Well, it's like, was it Kodak? I had an employee that developed a digital way to capture digital photography. Right. And they're like, that's not what we do.
Yeah, it's not what we do.
Because we sell film.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't sell pictures, we sell film.
Yeah, we're IBM, but we don't care about your software, Bill Gates. Right. The money's in the computers.
That's right.
Okay.
NFL, not for long.
Yeah. Okay. Those people, some of those people are in the annals of business, the halls of business success.
Correct.
Some of the people, the dummies who turned that down.
Right.
I need to research who's the dummy that turned down Netflix at Blockbuster.
Right.
Who was that guy?
Yeah.
Can we recall his compensation?
Isn't the
reverse
the
ACH?
Isn't the guy who owned Blockbuster? Didn't he start, or wasn't he involved with the Domino's franchise?
I don't know. I have to look that up.
It may be that they were both in Michigan.